We made a goal to move into this 1973 Airstream by July 31st. Today's officially the first day of summer, so we have a lot of work to do before then and not a whole lot of time. But first I have to actually wire up the entire trailer. And I've never done that before. When we first gutted this Airstream back in October, all of the trailer lights and, as far as I know, the trailer brakes were operational. But there was something about keeping 51-year-old lights and wires that just didn't sit well with me. Why not just go for the whole thing? Of course, this attitude's gotten us into a whole mess of problems by trying to do everything, including the windows, which was an absolute nightmare. I would rather take our shell back off, undo our subfloor to put back on those aluminum pieces that we missed, than ever do this again.
These windows have defeated me.
Let's just stick to the subject here, trailer lights. Today's project is replacing this old 7-pin connector with this nice new 7-blade connector. I've never done this before, so we're gonna figure it out. I actually tried to start this project yesterday, but it was 107 degrees in the Airstream, and I think that's just way unsafe to be in there for that long. I think I've got everything that I need to do this, but just like anyone who's ever done a DIY project before, you never have everything, and there's at least one trip a day to the store, maybe one trip an hour. Let's just get right into it. The first thing we're gonna do is wire up the running lights. I'm following a traditional RV wiring diagram, so these wires are gonna be green. There's only one wire coming from each light, which means the lights are grounded through their mounting hardware. I'm using Wago lever nuts just to test everything, and before the walls go up, I'll be redoing all the connections with waterproof butt connectors and heat shrink to make sure there's a permanent waterproof connection. I took this extra step because inevitably something will go wrong. Having something to set your wire spools on makes running wires by yourself so much easier. Let's give it a little go right now. Just a little positive, negative leads. Let's go check outside. I'm alone, so just me and you. Okay, that's on. On. Hard to tell with the sun, but 99% sure that one's on. On. Oh, bright. On. Woohoo! Awesome. Super pumped that that worked. So that's proof that this is going to work. Oh my god. I can feel the heat immediately start to rise the higher the sun gets. As soon as the top of the Airstream just got a little bit of light, it started getting stuffy. And the humidity is definitely increased. It's 90 degrees in the Airstream. It's officially wicked uncomfortable in there. I'm hiding in the garage. I'm gonna make a ground wire for the trailer electrical system. My brain's kind of getting a little foggy with the heat. I'm gonna do my best to stick it out. The ground wire is a 10-gauge white wire I'm adding a waterproof ring terminal to. Seems kind of illogical to use a heat gun when it's 90 degrees out. Probably just set it out in the sun, it might melt. Now that we're back in the old sweat lodge, it's time to run the brake and turn signals. I'm using red wire for the left and brown wire for the right. I'm using all 14-gauge stranded marine grade wire for all of these runs. Don't make this mistake here, and I'm going to learn my lesson very shortly. You'll see what happens and how I fix it. I tried to use the original cable clips from the Airstream, but 51-year-old plastic is pretty brittle, so I bought these new ones which were halfway melted in this heat. I gotta be selective with which channels I can use to run the wires, because once this is done, we need to wire all our lights, outlets, and appliances, which will be completely separate from this trailer electrical system. If this is your first time watching, be sure to subscribe to watch the progress and give us a thumbs up. Time to take a little break and rehydrate with this video sponsor, Liquid IV. We've been using Liquid IV for over 2 years now, and it's one of our favorite items to bring on all of our travels because of how packable and convenient it is. Liquid IV is one of those great things to have around, especially on hot days like this. All you need is a cup or reusable bottle, 16 ounces of water, and one convenient hydration pack for superior hydration. With its added electrolytes, Liquid IV is more effective than just water alone, and it has no sugar or artificial sweeteners added, unlike the leading sports drink brands. Good stuff. If you're interested in trying out Liquid IV, check out the link in the description below. I want to give a huge thanks to Liquid IV for keeping me hydrated on this hot day and for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the build. Guess who is kind of regretting some of the consequences of my decisions? Over the winter when I was restoring the frame, I started to wire the trailer brakes, but I didn't ever finish it because I wasn't exactly sure where I was going to route them up. So now they are just tucked away somewhere under here. The grass is growing back. There's a ton of bugs. I don't really want to crawl on the ground. I'm super sweaty, so I know all this dirt is just going to stick to me. It's going to be a mess. But you know what? I put it off, and now I gotta deal with it. And that's one thing that I've learned time and time again with this project is anytime I said I will figure it out later, later always sucks way more. So officially today, June 20th, 2024, I am no longer putting anything off till later. It's getting done right away. I can't emphasize enough how much I wish I did this when I had access to the entire frame, but at least I got it started. These trailer brakes are electric and activated by a magnet, so polarity doesn't matter coming out of the brake assemblies as long as there's power and a ground to each brake. After fishing out the wire from underneath and routing it through the subfloor, I think the heat really got to me. Freaking did it. Look at that. Junction box will go there. I think I'm gonna go home, take a little break. It's been a long day, so I think when I come back, Megan will be with me. Man, super stoked that that got done. All right, next thing is to just test it all out. So I'm gonna go take a little break, cool down for a little bit, maybe have some food. I'll see you soon. It's always good to confirm when you're about to do something electrical before you actually connect everything, and I just confirmed all these wires work with their corresponding functions according to the wiring diagram that I used to wire the trailer. So safe to assume we can plug this thing into this and then this into the Airstream.
And we are gonna test out this lighting. I'm very confident it'll work. So which lights am I looking at?
Lights.
Okay.
This is our first time attempting this kind of electrical wiring. Do you think it'll work first try? Nothing?
It's always the ground wire.
It's always the ground wire. I forgot to tighten it.
Oh, you're on!
It works. All right, nice job, Megan.
Yeah. Side. We got the side. We got our back lights. Some would call them tail lights.
Ooh, tail lights. Look at Megan. Ooh, that red glow. That red glow is good on you.
That's so exciting. Matt really braved the heat to get this done today, really. And it's a big deal because we only have a few steps left until we put the walls on, and this is a big, big one. And Matt's never done this before, so I'm so proud of him. We got hazard lights.
No, wait, it's hazard lights?
They're hazard lights.
Okay, that's not supposed to be hazard. Remember when I said I made a mistake? This was it. All right, let's get this thing done. If I finish today, tomorrow is a fun day. I think I deserve it. Significantly less hot than yesterday. A little bit muggier, but let's get it done. All right, next up, wiring up this junction box. This is where all the wires are gonna go into from the trailer and from the truck. So it's just gonna be like it's a junction box. It is what it is, so. This junction box is gonna be super convenient for all of the electrical connections, and it's gonna stay inside the Airstream for easy access, and it's gonna be guaranteed to be waterproof. After I wired up the junction box, I realized if I don't just wire all this stuff to the new 7-blade connector, I'm basically just making more work for myself later in the day, and the more time I spend in this freaking oven, the hotter it's gonna get. I was able to give my brain a bit of a rest while wiring the 7-pin connector. Thankfully, it has all the colors for the traditional RV standard labeled on the back, so I knew exactly where to put each wire. All right, boom, check this out. We have a new plug for the trailer, so this goes into the truck. This will plug into the trailer. So I'm gonna just do the opposite for this one, because when they plug in, they should go like this. Boom, check that out. So I made the trailer side plug. I have all the connections. I left about a 3-foot tail on each of the wires and put the ring terminals on. The reason I left this long piece of wire is because I'm not entirely sure where the junction box is actually going to end up when the walls are up. But I wanted to make sure that I give myself lots of options for when we actually put the walls up, because that's when I'm going to be able to actually finish this. Right now, I just need to make sure everything is functional and operational, and then I can work on making it aesthetic and looking professional as I possibly can. I just double and triple checked all of the connections. Everything looks good. Now's the time to try it out. Fingers crossed, guys. All right, time for left turn lights. This is the moment of truth, because this is the one that was kind of funky. And working. Oh, damn it, it's still doing it. All right, I hear thunder. Severe thunderstorm watch now all of a sudden. All right, lights are on. That works. Oh, God damn it. Oh, so frustrating. Sometimes you just have to walk away. I literally left just in time. This was less than about 5 minutes from the house. Jesus. Let me show you where I went wrong. So the yellow wire that is our reverse lights is actually supposed to go into the clear lights. And the red light is our turn and brake light and our running lights. Basically just didn't know that the clear light on the outside was not the turn signal. My next step is to install the receptacle. It's gonna go in and allow the trailer and the truck to connect to each other. After drilling a new hole for the trailer side receptacle and wiring the inside to the junction box, it's time to test it out. Yeah. Just kidding. But then it actually did start raining, so to avoid actually getting electrocuted, we'll come back to this. Great news, everything's working now. The plug was just loose on both sides, so I gave it a little wiggle and now everything is working properly. The next thing we have to do is test the brakes, but let's show you that everything works first.
Let's do it.
All right, you said lights are on? Okay. Yep, good. Reverse lights, brake lights good. Left turn signal, right turn signal, hazards. We're in business, guys. This is the moment we've been waiting for. This 1973 Airstream has not left my mom's backyard since it arrived at the end of August 2023. The moment we've been working towards is finally here, and we're about to take our maiden voyage to test the brakes. But then this happened. Alright, so it turns out the brakes did not work, so we have to figure that out. And after some troubleshooting, I realized that the issue is with our 19-year-old truck, not our 51-year-old trailer. There's no power coming out of the brake output on the factory 7-pin connector. I know I said I wouldn't put anything off anymore, but that's about the Airstream, and this is about our Sequoia, so I recruited a friend to come and help us out. That's good. Hazards?
I needed to know for certain if there was some issue with my trailer wiring, or if it was definitely our truck. So by testing all the lights and making sure I had power going to the brake wires in the junction box, I can confirm that my trailer wiring is correct.
Alright, can you hit the brakes? Meg, do you hear something over there? Okay, we're good.
Does it work?
Yep.
So we're done.
Alright, everything works. Something's wrong with the Sequoia, but we'll figure that out later.
Awesome.
There's just one step left to finishing the trailer wiring, but before I get to that, I need to weld on this box for the tongue of our Airstream. Not only do I learn how to wire trailer lights in this video, but I also learned that you can get a mean sunburn from welding in a tank top.
The last thing I'm installing in this video is this breakaway switch. I got one that has a battery. This gets attached to the trailer, this little wire gets attached to the truck, and then goes inside this here. So that way, if for some reason the Airstream were to ever separate from the truck, this would get yanked out. This would activate our brakes and hopefully stop the trailer wherever it is. And then this is just a constant supply so that no matter what, we always have power going to the brakes.
I secured the breakaway switch directly to the tongue and bolted the battery inside the new tongue box. I drilled a new hole in the Airstream for the wiring and used waterproof entry glands which also protect the wires from bare metal. After I wired everything to the junction box, it's time to test it out.
Theoretically, when Megan pulls the breakaway switch, it should send power to the brakes, which will lock up the brakes. She's gonna pull that now, and we're gonna test it.
1, 2, 3.
Yep, there we go.
Woo!
My polarity was messed up, but yep, we have it there. Amazing. Oh my God, I freaking did it. I am so pumped. Holy crap, guys.
You're learning something new every single day and you're freaking crushing it.
But there's just one last thing I need to check before we wrap this up, and that's that the truck can charge the battery for the breakaway switch. And it did. So we're super pumped that this part of the project is done. And coming up, we have so much more work to do before we turn this 1973 Airstream into our off-grid tiny home. So be sure to subscribe to watch the progress, and thank you to Liquid IV for sponsoring this video.